This is the ORU Basketball Coaches Show, powered by Playfly. Hear from head coaches Kroy, Barnett, and Sophie Anderson every week to get an inside scoop and perspective of Golden Eagle hoops. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Golden Eagles, Connor Clark.
Welcome back into another edition of the ORU Basketball Coaches Show here at Waldo's Chicken on 71st and Yale here in South Tulsa. Connor Clark here with you on the ORU Sports Network, and so glad to bring you another edition of this, another week of basketball, and we have a lot to talk about between both programs, but we will kick it off with the head women's basketball coach here at ORU, Sophie Anderson. Coach, as always, thanks so much for joining us on the program, and big week for your squad, one road game, one home game, and you guys obviously picking up a big win at home over the weekend on Hall of Fame weekend, and a really busy week over the entirety of pretty much every athletic program, it felt like, on Saturday, but you guys front and center at 2 o'clock at the Baby Center, and a game in which you guys snap a losing streak. You look really good on offense, and just kind of got back to what your program is all about, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I mean, just kind of a weight lifted off, and I think we played up to our potential, and we played and won all 4 quarters. So, man, I'm going to be extremely positive today and just kind of, just live in the moment and how proud I am of them and how well they played. And they reached a lot of our team goals that we had and our focuses that we had for this game on Saturday. And I think we knocked it out of the park. So extremely proud of them. Excited to head into kind of the downhill slope of, conference play with 4 more games remaining. So extremely excited. And I felt like Saturday was a great week, great Valentine's Day gift. And,
of course.
Great way to end the week.
It was a great way to end the week, and you guys end up splitting the regular season with Denver, and just kind of talk to me about that too, because you guys go to Denver, always kind of a weird and tough place to play because you're dealing with the elevation. It's kind of an interesting gym. I know we had that conversation the first time you guys played them, and then they come here, you guys just kind of ambush them 76-55, the final score. What did you notice from matchup to matchup with them? I know it's been a while since that first one, but just with your team, what were the main differences in your eyes that kind of flipped that script?
Yeah, and I would have to agree. Playing in Denver is extremely hard, and they played really, really well, which they always do. I don't know how Coach KB feels, but I felt like they couldn't miss, and it's been that way consistently for the past 4 years since we played there. Like, they just shoot it really, really well there, and I think that game they made 16 threes or something crazy. So
I'll fact check you.
Yeah, okay, but so I just thought our effort wasn't really well when we played there. We were a step behind, and like you said, that could have been an addition or accumulation of all of the things, just elevation, travel, time of the year. It could just be a lot of things. So we just didn't play very well, and I think we knew that, and we wanted to come into Saturday's game just with a little more pride, a little more ownership, a little more accountability, a little more effort, and just making sure that we capitalize on the things that we could control. And I think that was our big goal. And on Friday, we watched film, and we watched film just on offensive rebounds. And because of those offensive rebounds that they had at their place, I would probably put a lot of money on it. We don't gamble at ORU, but I would put a lot of money on that. They converted, and they were threes, which were daggers, and 1, 2, maybe even a few possessions, 3 offensive rebounds. And to end that with a 3-point, score, it's just like, and it just that's kind of felt just gut punch after gut punch.
Right.
And we watched that, and we took pride in that. And I think we had like 31 defensive rebounds. Like, we just took pride in blocking out everybody. From guard to post to point guard, everybody took pride and ownership in making sure they put a body on someone and really blocking out and going to go get that basketball. So, and another thing is, I think we just played team basketball on both ends of the floor. And I hope it felt that way as a spectator, but I know as a coach, I was just extremely proud of our stat line and just our effort the whole game.
So from matchup to matchup, you were close. They had 14 threes.
Okay, 14.
But they were 50%. 14 of 28 is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
they
crazy.
go 3 of 26 on Saturday, so a much, much different story. They go from 16 offensive rebounds the first time around to 12 this time. You guys win the rebounding battle overall 39-34. You mentioned 31 defensive rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds. So you guys are still there on the offensive glass. And when you talk about the goals that you guys set out for yourself before the game, and I know when we talked to Corey about it, a big one is offensive rebounds. That was a highlight at St. Thomas. Was that kind of similar heading into this game? Was that on the, I guess, list of goals that you guys have?
Well, I think for us it was defensive rebounds. We wanted to make sure just to hold them to one. Another thing was to keep Corinne at her average. I think she had like 31 against us at their place. Like she was just amazing, and she is just an amazing basketball player in herself. But our goal was to hold her at her average, and I think our point guards and everyone that guarded her, which was Gentry, Presley, and Ari, did a really good job. But then our post players did a really great job on being an extension of that screen and being the first line of help as well. And I think they did a really good job slowing the basketball down, giving our point guard enough time to recover. And that was one of our goals, making sure that we hold her. But that was a team effort. She's that good, y'all. And I think they did a really good job on that, winning every quarter, starting the game off. And I think we did that. I mean, I just walked away from Saturday just extremely proud of them, extremely proud of their effort. And what better way to get the momentum rolling other than now as you head into March.
Right, of course. I mean, this is a pivotal time of year.
Yeah, definitely.
I know we've come on this show and we've talked about starting the game off with fire on multiple occasions, and I think you guys maybe exceeded that on Saturday. You scored 28 points in the first quarter, hold them to 11, and I would probably venture to guess without looking at it, that's your best quarter of the entire season.
I would have to say so as well. Like, I mean, our mindset was just different, and that's what we need to be. That's the winning mentality, the winning mindset that we need to have every single game. And why not? It's February. Go play. You've played everybody once. Now we can really say that after we've played St. Thomas. And I mean, just go play. And right now, this point of the year, it's about effort. It's about effort. It's about just locking in. And what are you going to do that the other team's not going to do? Are you going to allow them to outwork you, outpush you, or you're going to choose the other way? That's not happening. And you got to make big shots, and that's just this time of the year. And that's why the Cinderella teams were created around this time. They make big shots, they get big stops, and, that momentum just carries on.
It's so interesting of how, when teams get hot this time of year, just what a difference it can make. And again, you mentioned it. It's a good start to getting hot down the stretch here. And we'll dive deeper into the box score. Keaton Donnelly with another just phenomenal performance, 23 and 7 for her, 11 of 15 from the field. I mean, you rarely see a player shoot 15 shots and be that efficient. And again, she's just a freshman. And then Oglesby with 18, and a Trusty pitches in 11. And I feel like usually you guys have more than 3 double-digit scores, but you didn't really need more than 3 double-digit scores here today, or I guess on Saturday, because everybody else kind of did their part in other areas. But it all started with Kate. And again, I feel like we've been talking about her for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. She's been phenomenal.
Yeah, she is. She's just a consistent pillar, and I think that's what we've kind of been talking about all season long, looking and searching and trying to find and pull and kind of develop a consistency from this whole group. And that's what we look for in them being just younger and just finding someone that can be consistent. And I think with Anna, with KD, with Jaylee, like everybody, they've been consistent, whether that's on the defensive end or the offensive end. They've consistently shown up, and we can consistently count on them. But KD is just growing and developing into something really, really beautiful for us. And I mean, just extremely proud of her because she was able to guard on the inside for us, but then also guard a guard as well. And she's able to play on the inside for us, and then also being able to play on the outside as well. So she's just a two-headed monster in a good way for us, and just extremely consistent, and almost a double-double for a freshman. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah. And another stat that jumps off the page to me is, well, A, you guys shoot over 50%, and you always take 13 threes, make 4 of them, but you're 33 of 61 for the field. And then you have 14 assists on 33 made baskets. And I feel like in the offense that you guys run, the assist numbers may not necessarily follow just because of all the driving that happens, but clearly you guys were sharing the ball at a high rate.
Well, not only that, one, we're making shots, and then two, defensively, we're able to get tips and steals. So from there, we were able to create a few transition. I would like to see our transition buckets, but like create some transition, and from there, you are attacking, and then now you're passing to your teammate for a layup. So now that assist number it goes up. But I thought the defensive end, we were solid and we were active, and that equated to transition buckets and some easy ones for us. But we made shots.
I mean, making shots, that'll make everybody's life easier, of course.
Tell me about it.
Especially yours. But
yeah.
And you talk about the defense, too. You give up 55, and I feel like the defense really over the last 3 has given you guys a chance to win. You give up 74 against South Dakota, 71 against St. Thomas, and then, of course, the effort on Saturday. What have you noticed from that end, too, just being able to lock down in some pretty key moments and holding some pretty good offenses in check down the stretch?
Well, that's a huge part of our identity, and that's what we've been trying to kind of ask too ever since July. Who are we? And I think we're slowly starting to see, and it's exciting for our staff too to kind of see like that was our mission coming into the conference, like the defensive end being a focal point for our staff, and to see that kind of come to life it's exciting. It's exciting, and we're starting to know that that side of the ball is just as important, if not creating offense for us. And it's just kind of cool to see that like that was our goal and it's starting to play out. And I'm just extremely excited that they're beginning to kind of take pride on that side of the ball as well. And not that that's an easy side, but that's an effort side. You don't have to, put your elbow in and shoot and follow through. You just have to be in a stance or get there early, take a charge, just be active. I just have to communicate. And that's why I love that side of the ball, because it's just effort and heart.
It's effort, and of course, a good thing too. Defense travels too. I mean, you're not always going to have a 50% shooting night, but
that's a good point.
You can always depend on that defensive side of the ball. And as we look forward here, obviously, you guys got a huge one coming up on Thursday against South Dakota State. You get them in your building for the first and only time this year, and I hesitate to go there, but it's kind of seeding time when it comes to the Summit League tournament too. And you guys are in the thick of a race with St. Thomas right now for that 4 seed. And, of course, North Dakota State perfect in the conference, South Dakota State and South Dakota both at 10-2. And it's kind of weird to see 2 losses next to the Jackrabbits name this year. But that's the fact of the reality. And, I mean, of course, you guys will see St. Thomas again. But coming up against the Jackrabbits, I mean, you guys had a phenomenal game against them in your building last year. Of course, it was just a couple of buckets short of what would have been a huge victory, too. But now you get another shot at them. It's late in the year. You mentioned this is the right time to get hot. And I guess the million-dollar question is, how do you carry that momentum over from Saturday's performance?
I mean, just continue to do what we do, being, just playing hard. And I think that's going to be the main factor in the rest of the season, just our effort. But we can't go anywhere but up from our last, what is it? We played against them, and it was just awful, awful at their place. They made 19 threes. I know I'm 100%.
You're 100% on that one.
Yeah, but I mean, now, like as we slowly,
you are 100% on that one.
As we slowly morph into our identity, I'm excited to play against them and to see who we are a month later. Who have we grown into a month later? And honestly, we have nothing to lose. We're at home. We're in our own beds. We're at our gym, that we shoot on all the time. So it's just about effort. And I want them to go out. I want them to play with that same passion, that same energy. And if we have a good start, it could be anybody's game. I do know our pace is going to be important in this game. I know, like South Dakota, they want to kind of slow it down. But when we pick the pace up and try to increase the possessions, that is something that they don't want to do. So I think that's going to be to our advantage. So that'll be our goal. But I mean, we're going to have to block out. We're going to have to take care of the basketball. Their point guard is shooting almost 50% from 3. They got other guards that will knock it down. And then you have I'm going to give her this, an All-American on the inside, in Brooklyn Meyer. And she just does a really, really good job. Her and Avery Coonan, really, really great post players on the inside. But yeah, she does a great job. So we'll have to contain her as well. And just like we did on Saturday, it's going to be a community effort.
So I know last year it was a different team for both teams, but you mentioned the pace and how that kind of changes the game against the Jackrabbits. And my mind goes back to the Summit League Championship game where they get out, they control the pace. Obviously, they're making shots at an extremely high level, and then you guys kind of come back and punch them in the mouth with your high tempo offense. And how do you go about? Obviously, starting fast is always a key, and you guys did that in a big way on Saturday. But I feel like in the pace that you guys can play at, you can almost shell shock some teams because of how fast you guys can be. So I guess, how do you go about doing that? I know it's a loaded question, and they've got, of course, a lot of really, really good players inside, i.e. Brooklyn Meyer. But I feel like if you're able to get out there quickly, you could kind of stun them a little bit.
Well, yeah, and not only that, you have to make shots against them. So part of the question is, if you get out early and you do punch them in the mouth, you got to keep swinging.
Right.
Because if you think you've won after that one punch, well, they're coming back with
you
a
can't
combo.
Be complacent.
Yeah, exactly. So if we do get a lead, you better hold on, and you hold on tight, and you have to maintain that. And that's where the discipline comes in, because it's going to be a grind. Not too many people can blow them out. I mean, I think South Dakota had a 19-point victory over them, but that's not their norm. You know, that's just not what they normally do. They're normally not a team that you can just blow out. So we have to make shots, and you have to do that consistently, but you have to get stops. Like that's just important. But defensively, we have to be solid, but we have to score. And I think when at their place, we had a hard time scoring. And I know we put up 70-something points, and it doesn't look like that. But for us, you have to be able to answer. You can't go on 2, 3, 4-minute lulls where we don't score, because if we're not holding them and they're scoring, that's where the gap begins to happen.
Right.
And I think at their place, Bella did a great job on shrinking the gap. I think we went into half down 5, and you have to use that momentum. But when you come out in the third, you have to be punching again, and you have to either close that gap, or you have to keep that gap within single digits, because if it stretches out to double, it could be 20 just like that.
Right.
You know, so it's just a constant swing. It'll be a constant fight. You're on the offense, you're on the defense. And if we want to be in the game and give ourselves a chance to win, it is 40 minutes the whole time. It's going to take all of us.
Well, we're here at Waldo's Chicken on 71st and Yale. Come join us. We are here until noon talking with the head women's basketball coach, Sophie Anderson, until 11:30. And then head coach of the men's program, Kroy Barnett, coming up at 11:30 right after that. So you played 2 of the next 4 at home, and, of course, the one on Thursday in your building, and then you finish out the regular season against St. Thomas on Senior Day on February the 28th. And the schedule just looks like this: South Dakota State, at Kansas City, at Omaha, at home against St. Thomas. And, A, it's hard to believe you guys only have 4 games left in the regular season.
Crazy.
That's crazy in itself. And B, I know you guys are a one-game-at-a-time approach, and are a lot of coaches, and for good reason, of course. But when you do look forward to this, and you mentioned, kind of establishing that identity in July, and the more and more you guys play, the more and more you figure yourselves out. How do you kind of put together the puzzle pieces here in this final stretch of saying, all right, this is our identity. We know what we're going to do. We've already seen every team now once, as you mentioned earlier, and just kind of making that combination come together over the last 2 or so weeks.
A wise coach told me, shout out Coach Austin for women's soccer team. He told me, coach the behaviors, and I didn't really understand that at the beginning. Everyone is outcome. And of course that's extremely important because that's our profession, but coaching behaviors is very, very important. And our staff, for the past couple of weeks, we've really been on to them about coaching effort. And I think that's our focus. You got to coach behaviors and you got to coach effort right now, because let's be honest, the difference between good and great is in the details. So that's going to be our focus, making sure that we're finishing at the rim, making sure that we're knocking down free throws, and worrying about the little things. You can't worry about the big picture. Everyone wants to win, but if you don't cut the baseline off and they're able to get a reverse layup when you have an opportunity to take a charge, that's a different momentum swing, So just really focusing on the behaviors and making sure that we're doing the right thing from Monday to Wednesday. And then again, reinforcing that on Friday and playing with effort in between all of those days. So I think that's our main focus as we head down the stretch. And then hopefully you can capture some wins along the way, and then you use that momentum, that confidence, and you head into March, full steam ahead.
Now, it's my job to look at the full or the bigger picture, and then it's your job to say, hey, hold on. We have one game.
Yeah.
Let's take it one at a time, which, again, is probably the correct approach.
Right.
Also, shout out Coach Reisenhoover, Summit League regular season champion this last year.
Let's
So
go, Coach of the
he
Year.
knows what he's doing.
Big
So
time.
that is big time. That was a fun
Yes.
season to watch and be a part of. But we're previewing South Dakota State here on Thursday. It is alumni night. It's, I believe, also glow in the dark theme, which will be good as well.
What does that really mean?
I guess it's going to get crazy during timeouts when the lights go off. I mean,
Wow.
that's what I'm going to say. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be a surprise for everybody,
Okay.
but it'll be a good one. But
what are you wearing?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have any glow in the dark ties or
That's
suits.
what you should get. Amazon.
That'd be
pretty cool.
I'm going on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
after
Amazon
this.
immediately.
That'll be good. That and some like glow in the dark shoes or something.
Yeah,
just
that'd be
really,
cool.
really pop out. But you mentioned, getting a team for the second time, you get them in your building. And I know when we talk about South Dakota State, it's one of many things that we talk about with them, but it's their crowd at their place. And when you go up there, you mentioned a 5-point lead can turn into 20 like that, just because it feels like you're in the middle of a hornet's nest in there.
For sure.
When you come back to the maybe, though, what is it like having that crowd come behind you guys? And there have been times this year, and I mean, mine goes back to the Tulsa game as one of them, where I mean, the place gets loud, and you guys are in some crucial moments, and I feel like that energy can kind of push you over the hump momentum-wise. So how much has that meant to your crew this year, and just how much can you attribute some success at home to the people who come and support you?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, to play in a gym when you go on a run and you hear that loud and everyone's screaming, fans are going crazy, and the Tulsa game was wild. Mind you, they brought the other half of Tulsa with them,
right?
So
but still,
that contributes to the crowd. But I mean, what a great environment to play in. What a great environment to spectate and watch. I mean, it's just great all around. I mean, our crowd is huge, and I wish we had, a student section as well. Like, I think having your peers there for the student athletes, that's even more important. But shout out to the ones that come every single game, no matter what, rain, sleet, or snow this year. And they've shown up, and shout out to the people that come to the coaches show right here. But it's, I don't know, it's just kind of, it makes you speechless to see the consistent and the fan base grow over the years. And they're really, truly there to watch and just see how this team develops. And it's just genuine, it's authentic, it's organic, and they truly want nothing but the best for these young ladies, and extremely excited about victories and even losses, but just to see the growth that this team has had. So the fans mean everything. And I want to just say thank you for the ones that have been with us through this season, and it's been great, and it's been great to look up and see consistent faces. But I think our players love playing in that environment. And I told them to take, when we were at South Dakota State, to take a mental picture of that environment, because that will be March.
Right.
Half the fans will be in red, half of them will be or a majority of them will be in royal blue, and then there would be a little bit in green, so.
It might be more than usual this year.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, the season they're having. So they will take over. But I said that environment, that energy, that will be March, so they probably thought I was crazy when I said that. But then when we walk into the building, they're going to be like, whoa, but I will remind them we have been here before, so extremely excited for our fans to come out for 2 more games to watch us and support us and kind of root us on and give us some momentum and more energy back as we head into the conference tournament. So.
And as the head coach now of this program too, and I know you've been around the program for a handful of years now, but I feel like a lot of people who come from other schools will come to the maybe and they'll see the Mike Carter and all this other stuff, and they'll be like, wow, you guys have a really good setup. And I know a couple of people who came to the maybe for the first time this year, and they're like, I've only ever seen pictures of it, but it's actually like a really, really cool place to play. I mean,
it really is.
As a head coach too, and now kind of having the reins of all of that, I mean, what has the kind of infrastructure and the facilities meant to you as a head coach, and how has it allowed you to kind of excel in that role and build the program the way you want to build it? And of course, I mean, a lot of local talent has been attracted to your program as well, and
Right.
i.e., the fan support, a lot of family and friends coming out each day.
Right. I mean, facilities are everything. Anything that the young people can post and be a part of, like that is huge for recruiting now. That's huge for just the fans. The seats are comfortable. I mean, they put on a show. They do a really, really good job. During the game, as far as games being played, entertainment. So when they come, even fans, I know North Dakota State, I think when we were at the conference tournament and we were talking, in the hotel with other parents and fans last year, they were talking about how great of an experience they had when they came to the Maybe Center. They said it was entertaining, they just enjoyed. And that's what it's about. It's about an experience and how the game made you feel. And Coach Annan always talked about that as a spectator. And that's what the fans want, is a good feeling when they left. Of course, they want to win and a victory, but
Right.
man, when they walk away, like, man, what a great game. I enjoyed being there, and that's what makes them want to come back. And I think the Maybe Center just gives you that. There's not a bad seat
No.
in the whole place. The video board is huge. So, I mean, even if you're sitting high or you're sitting on the floor, like every seat is a good seat. The Mike Carter is beautiful. We get to practice there, but it's great for recruiting. And it's almost like just timeless. Like it hasn't aged. The Maybe Center hasn't aged. And the upgrades that we've done just continue to grow with time. And it's just iconic to Tulsa, to be completely
Right.
honest,
Yeah. No.
So excited to start, our legacy and continue on what we've done here at ORU. But the Maybe Center is just, I know so many kids in Oklahoma played, their high school championships
Right.
and stayed in there. So it means a lot to Oklahoma players. I know now, I think they may be at the BOK now, but still the Maybe Center has a heart for, state basketball.
It is kind of cool to walk in there and be like, hey, we're, doing basketball games in the same building that, Elvis has performed in, and all these other like big time names. It's kind of like you walk on the halls down there and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. So,
and the visitor locker room is like a dressing room. So
yeah.
they walk in and they're like, whoa,
like,
this is a show around here. This is big time.
This is big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have to ask you, because I wasn't there at your game on Saturday. It was Valentine's Day. What did you have? You're a big shoe girl.
I am.
Did you have festive shoes on? Did you have red shoes on?
I did have red heels on. I did.
Okay.
I had red heels.
Did you wear them to the pregame interview?
I did not. Hey, why are you trying to bust out my secret? You've been trying to get my shoes on. I do have some Birks that I wear because I didn't know if you were going to put my house shoes on.
Well,
camera. So
well, we can't because
the
courtside seating is in the way. I know I keep.
No, I gotta watch you, and you
you
always end.
I
gotta ask a question, and then I'm like, what is he gonna say?
I can't let you off the hook that easy. It's only 30 minutes.
I know. It was a red out, so I wore.
It was a red out.
Red shoes, red pants, but I had to wear our navy, so I had a red and navy heart cardigan on because it was Valentine's. I mean, you wear your same one outfit for Valentine's once a year. You have the one heart sweatshirt or the one heart tie. My husband had a heart shirt on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Wayne.
Coach P had on red heart shoes. Bree had on.
Oh, now I feel I
didn't.
I don't think I wore an ounce of red on Saturday. Now I kind of feel bad.
No, it's
I
okay.
didn't play into the
We
theme.
were playing Denver.
That's true.
So I mean, it's okay.
They fit right into the theme because they wore the red uniforms, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think they did. Yeah.
So that was playing into the theme. I will give credit to the fans. A lot of I didn't really know because it's not. I mean, yes, it was Valentine's Day, but red is kind of an accent color for us, and it's not really one of our main colors. But the fans understood the assignment, as they would say. I mean,
our fans are locked in. They hear the support.
I looked up. I was like, wow, there is a lot of red in this building. Like, okay, this is good stuff. So that was kind of fun.
And it wasn't Denver's red. It was ORU.
No, it was ORU red. It was the flame.
We got to clarify that.
It was the flame red.
The flame red.
That's what it was.
That's a good one.
So
that's a good one.
It was. I was pleasantly surprised to see how much was in the building. Now I'm not surprised how many people came to the game because it's a constant, but the red out theme was
shout out to our fans.
Was definitely understood. So
a
big one coming up on Thursday for your squad. Should be a lot of fun. We'll have it for you on the ORU Sports Network pregame at 6:50 and the tip-off at 7 o'clock as Oral Roberts takes on South Dakota State for the final time in the regular season. Coach, as always, thanks so much for the time. Great to talk to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We will see you again on Thursday.
All right. Sounds good. Ego.
Well, we'll take one quick break, and then on the other side, we will have the head men's basketball coach, Cory Barnett, coming up with us. This is the ORU Basketball Coaches Show on the ORU Sports Network.
Life comes at you fast, whether it's starting a family, making the most out of your side hustle, or anything else financial. Sometimes you just need to talk to someone. That's what we do. We're TTCU Federal Credit Union, and we're here to get you where you want to go. Our money experts can help build your credit, figure out your budgets, and even help plan your savings goals. Together, we've got this. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
At Bill Knight Ford, we're proud to bring you the power of 4 with Bill Knight Ford of Tulsa, Stillwater, Bartlesville, and now our all-new location in Veneta. You have access to a wider selection of vehicles, more service options, and a dedicated team.
Get the 2025 F-150 Super Crew for just $48,990 or the 2025 Explorer for just $43,660, both with 3.9% financing.
Visit any of our 4 locations to experience the power of 4 for yourself or shop BillKnightAuto.com today.
WAC from Ford Credit.
Basketball season is here, so let racers make sure you're on the ball for entertaining. Make it easy with our ready-to-grill items, like our jalapeno poppers and kebabs. We have fan favorites, like our sandwich trays from the deli, or team-themed cakes and cupcakes in the bakery. Racers, the official grocery store of the ORU Golden Eagles.
At Grubbs Acura of Tulsa, we don't just sell cars, we stand behind them. That's why we offer a lifetime warranty on every new Acura and select pre-owned vehicles. Drive with confidence, knowing your investment is protected for the long haul. Stop by Grubbs Acura of Tulsa today. Luxury you can trust, backed for life.
At Bill Knight Ford, we're proud to bring you the power of 4 with Bill Knight Ford of Tulsa, Stillwater, Bartlesville, and now our all-new location in Veneta. You have access to a wider selection of vehicles, more service options, and a dedicated team.
Get the 2025 F-150 Super Crew for just $48,990 or the 2025 Explorer for just $43,660, both with 3.9% financing.
Visit any of our 4 locations to experience the power of 4 for yourself or shop BillKnightAuto.com today.
WAC. Looking for delicious fried and rotisserie chicken? Look no further than Waldo's Chicken. Our Southern-style scratch-made sides are the perfect complement to our mouth-watering chicken. With dine-in, drive-through, and catering options, we got you covered for all occasions. Let us handle your next fundraising event, team lunch, or family gathering with our full-service catering options. Enjoy all your favorite sports with lots of TVs, and don't miss out on our daily food and drink specials each week. With 2 convenient locations at Broken Arrows, Tiger Hill Plaza, and 71st and Yale. Waldo's Chicken, the best fried chicken in Oklahoma.
Family owned and operated since 1969. The Don Thornton Automotive Group is driven to make car buying easy and your ownership experience exceptional. Tulsa's choice for performance and luxury. Audi Tulsa, Don Thornton Cadillac, Land Rover Tulsa, Don Thornton Volkswagen, and Lexus of Tulsa. Visit any of their dealerships on Memorial in Midtown or online at DonThorntonAuto.com.
Life comes at you fast, whether it's starting a family, making the most out of your side hustle, or anything else financial. Sometimes you just need to talk to someone. That's what we do. We're TTCU Federal Credit Union, and we're here to get you where you want to go. Our money experts can help build your credit, figure out your budgets, and even help plan your savings goals. Together, we've got this. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
This is the ORU Basketball Coaches Show, powered by Playfly. Hear from head coaches Cory Barnett and Sophie Anderson every week to get an inside scoop and perspective of Golden Eagle hoops. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Golden Eagles, Connor Clark.
Welcome back into the ORU Basketball Coaches Show here at Waldo's Chicken. We're at 71st and Yale until noon, as we are now talking with the head men's basketball coach, Cory Barnett. Coach, as always, thanks so much for making some time for us on Monday. I know it's your favorite 30 minutes of the week, so here we go.
We
got a lot of talk. I know.
Just these 30 with you,
man. I know. We got a nice little thing going here.
We really do. It's incredible.
It's nice. But we got a lot to talk about. First of all, I know this is a Jim Ginther question, but how does one get a hand on one of these hoodies, man?
It's a straight Jim Ginther question.
I mean, it is.
Shouts to Jim. Man, I love that Jim just came on the radio show. I mean, I hope that he's listening, that you know, Jim, that we love you dearly.
Jim Ginther might be at the top of the totem pole of, like, just all-around love.
Yeah, to me, he's Jim Ginther, but that's fine.
Jim Ginther.
Either way.
That's good.
No, he's incredible.
That's good. But we'll break down a couple of games for you guys this week. And, of course, starting off with a win on Thursday against Kansas City in a game where we've talked about the second half of that game a lot. And we'll get there, but we'll start with the first 20 and a game that was pretty tightly contested through the first 20 minutes. And as we pull up the box score here, final score 69-60 at the Maybe Center.
It's late in the season, you got to scroll for a while.
I know, we do got to scroll for a while. But 28-29 was the score at half. And you guys were down one, but it didn't really feel like you guys were because of the quality of looks that you guys were getting. They just weren't falling. It was kind of one of those halves, and I think that completely flipped, obviously, in the second half. You guys scored 41 in the second half, so a much better output there offensively. But, again, it just felt like the offense was humming. The ball just wasn't dropping.
Yeah, I mean, I think consistently over the last few weeks, I'm proud of where our offense has gotten in terms of our ball movement and finding the open guy and the way that we're screening and our execution of sets. And it's just about finding ways to score at a consistent clip, and that comes with finishing layups and making open threes. And it's not an area that we've been strong in this season. It's an area we really need to grow in as we finish here down the stretch. And when we do it, I think we can compete with the top of them. And I thought, honestly, in the following game, South Dakota State game, we made a decent shot at a high enough clip. We just didn't guard the level we needed to. But UMKC, obviously, the lid came off a little bit for the second half, and we started making some open shots and especially layups. And when we get point blank at the rim, those are really hard to get to. That's what defenses are built to keep you away from. So we cannot give those opportunities away. We have to finish those at a very high clip. And then if we don't, it better be a foul. We're going to the free throw line. And that's something that we can control, and we need to do it consistently.
Now, you guys take the lid off in the second half, 41 points. You scored 40 or more in the last two second halves, too, including Saturday's game. But a big reason why, I think, was the play of Luke in that second half. You didn't see a lot go down in the first and continued to stay with it in that second. And I know we've had a long conversation about just his confidence level, and it feels like it continues to improve no matter really the result that he's getting on the floor. But I feel like every time he gets the ball now, he's a lot more aggressive attacking to the rim, and he does it with more purpose now than maybe he did at the beginning of the year, where I don't want to say he was hesitant with the basketball, but just feels like he knows exactly what he's going to do when he gets the ball now.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, basketball to me is pretty simple. It comes down to you're going to get scars. It's a very physical sport. You're going to have to go through different levels of not only physicality, but just different games and the way that they're defended and the way that the referee and all those different things. And the good players and the good teams, collectively, the good teams learn from their scars at a high level. Individually, players, they learn from their scars at a high level, whatever that looks like, whether it's making layups, whether it's screening the right way, whether it's rolling with the type of pace that you need to, whether it's reading a ball screen coverage, whether it's defensively having that level of communication that you need to. And Luke has been a guy that's leaned into whatever his faults are and whatever his inconsistencies are. He's leaned into those, and he's looked him in the mirror consistently and made a very visual improvement and just the way that he works and his mindset every single day. So I'm proud of where Luke has come. Obviously he knows, and we all know he's got a very long way to go. But I'm thankful that he's leaned into the work and the process and the way that he has, especially over this last month or two.
Now, besides obviously the win, I think my favorite stat from Thursday's game was you guys had 5 players with 6 or more rebounds. It was really, really widespread. You finished with 42 as a team, 12 offensive rebounds, and it just felt like, I mean, you guys weren't going to be denied on the glass. Team leaders, Ofri and Udo with 8 apiece, and then Luke right behind them with 7. And, I mean, when you have just that balanced of a rebounding attack, how much does that do for your offense especially, too? Because, A, it's better to run offense when you're not taking it out of the rim, first of all, and Second of all, you guys got 12 extra possessions out of it.
Yeah, that's kind of the way our team is built. Obviously, with not making the shots at the clip that we want to offensively, that needs to be where our identity is. We need to go to the glass, fight for extra possessions consistently, and then defensively, we don't have just a dominant rebounder who just goes and gets everything and finds a way, similar to South Dakota or some of these other leagues, these other teams that have really, really physical presence in the paint. So we need to do it by positional size, and that's our discipline to go out to hit, but then especially our discipline to go in to get and pursue it with two-hand toughness and have that level of motor and physicality and want to go get it. Because a lot of times, if you don't go get it with a different level of energy and urgency to your pursuit, you're not going to have the opportunity. The game's going to honor toughness and the team that plays harder. And I think over the last few weeks on the glass from that front, our team's done a really good job at pursuing it at the level that they need to.
So you guys got up, I believe the largest lead in that second half was 18. And, I mean, we got to talk about the dunk that got you guys there from Ty. Just an absolute poster. And I know Max and I have had lots of conversations about it. I mean, when we first saw his highlight reel over the summer, we're like, oh, like this could happen this year. And then we've seen dunks out of Ty before, but then it finally really, really happened on Thursday. And I know as a head coach, you don't really care. It's 2 points and you kind of move on. But the bench reaction after that, I thought was just great.
Yeah, 2 points is 2 points to me. But no, Ty has that in him. He needs to consistently play with that level of force when he attacks the rim. And if he does, I think he's going to be in a good spot. And a lot of our issues with finishing at the rim has been the way that we've approached it. And, St. Thomas is the number one team in the country with the way that they finish the rim. And the reason that they do is they play off 2 feet. They're disciplined at it. They seek the physicality. They go to score, not go to get fouled. And that's an area that we've been pretty immature at throughout the entire season. And we've had games where we're really good at it and games where we're really bad at it. And majority of games are somewhere in between. And that's been honestly one of Ty's biggest issues is just playing with force, playing off 2 feet, playing to go finish consistently. And when he does, man, he's one of the hardest players to guard in our league. When he doesn't make it at a high clip. So him having that growth, especially over this past week, was huge for us offensively.
Now, I bring up dunks, and I feel like the two that you guys had back-to-back from Ofri and Connor in that first half, too, really sparked one of a few runs in that game and one of a few runs over the weekend. And it felt like for the first time in a while that just the momentum flip in both of those games really flipped to your bench. And, again, of course, the run in the first half against Kansas City, my mind goes to the 7-0 run you guys went in the second half against South Dakota State as well. And there was just an energy that I feel like, at least from our side of the court, we haven't felt in a while, and it was really good to see, of course. You got to just kind of get out and kind of break out scoring-wise in those areas.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And it's not only scoring. Like, to me, it's our level of stops and be able to string stops together and then get out and transition. And we don't get enough of those easy looks, and too often our opponents are. And it's an area that we really need to improve in and continue to lean into it at a high level. And I thought both, especially the UMKC game, we fought like crazy to never lose that. And then the South Dakota State game, we reverted back during their run to some things that we've done in the past. And it's just it's a different level of maturity that we need to grow into. And like I mentioned, like there's these scars should hurt every single one of us individually. Like none of us want the result that we got on Saturday. And a part of that is just learning from losses. And we've had that type of loss multiple times. So it's frustrating as a team that we need to figure out how to learn to go through that consistently. And that'll come from not only our staff, but the leadership at the top of our roster. And they need to continue to make sure they refuse to lose in those moments and find a different edge to them. And especially the ability on the defensive end you are not going to score on this possession. We're not going to allow 3, 4, 5 possessions to be strung together where they're getting high quality shots. If you're going to beat us, you better be making really, really high level, difficult shots. And that's an area where we got to mature.
So we talked about it briefly post game after the Kansas City game, but you guys go 9 of 30 in the first half, and then a much different story in the second half. You guys go 15 of 30. What was the message to your team? And, of course, what did you notice differently, if anything, on the offensive end that allowed you guys to be a lot more efficient in that area?
Yeah, I don't know that, the game of basketball is not always black and white. To me, it was just we had to trust the process that we were getting high-quality looks and just be more disciplined on finishing those high-quality looks. And I thought that in the second half happened. In the open threes that we got in the second half, we knocked them down. The open layups we got in the second half, we knocked them down. And that's an area where we need that for 40 minutes to beat the top teams in our league. And to me, even though South Dakota State's record may not show it, man, they're talented 1 through 8. Like they have a very good roster who knows their roles. They got high-level shooting. And we go into that game, and you can't have 28 minutes, 32 minutes, 34 minutes of really good offense or really good defense. You have to have 40 and 40, and it's an area that we have to figure out how to get that consistently as we finish up down here on the stretch.
Yeah, you mentioned the three-point shooting too. Definitely was a factor, even in that first half, more so than the second half. Even though the overall percentages would kind of argue that.
Right.
5 of the 9 made field goals in that first half were 3 balls, and Connor got going early a little bit too. He hits 4 of those in total, 8 threes, and of course we all know what he can do outside of the arc. And it felt like some of the looks he got were actually probably the majority of the looks he got were pretty clean ones. And of course it was just kind of that story the first half where they weren't dropping. But again, we've seen games where he gets defended really well, / maybe he's not as aggressive as you guys would like, but I feel like over the last few weeks he's been uber aggressive in getting his shot and hunting it consistently.
Yeah, he had a stretch there late January where he just wasn't being aggressive enough. And to Connor, it's never anything other than he's just trying to do the right thing. And sometimes these guys, whether regardless of what age they are, they just don't understand what the right thing is. And we need to do a good job as a staff of really making that clear to them. And for Connor, the right thing is to be aggressive. And that's what's best for this team. That is what the unselfish thing on this team is. Some people would say, well, this is a selfish shot. It's unselfish to not take an open 3 if your name is Connor Dow. And it's the same conversation I just had with Cal Furnish. There were 3 open 3s where the unselfish thing to do in that moment was to take that shot for him. And as a freshman, that's what he really needs to learn. Like, we need him. He's our outside of Chase Martin, who is, I think, shooting 100%. Cal is our highest 3-point field goal percentage shooter. So if he gets 3 clean looks, those need to be up. And our team knows that. He knows that. And those are moments that he's got to really make sure that every single time that a team goes under a DHO or under an off-ball screen, or he gets an extra pass to lace up, that thing's got to fly. And that's an area where we need to be able to lean into him in a real way. And as a freshman, he's just got to be able to learn that.
Yeah, Cal is one of the most efficient 3-point shooters on your team.
Yes.
And he also leads your team, at least going into Saturday, in assist to turnover ratio as well. So 2 really, really big areas.
Awesome.
And we've talked about how impressive he's been in some big moments. He's had to run the offense in some really high, tense moments as well. And just to be able to take care of the basketball at the level that he's been able to do it as a freshman, I mean, that's got to make your guys' lives a whole lot easier.
No, I think Cal is a big part of what we're trying to build here. And he's really had an opportunity here to be able to grow in year 1. And obviously with the injury to Lane, and he had to step into even more of a role than he may have known going into this season. And he's a confident kid. And the thing I love about Cal is he puts the work in all the freaking time. And like I had that conversation with him yesterday. It's just, you do all the work, and that's where the confidence comes from. So just trust the reps, trust the process, and go into the game and play with a different level of reckless abandonment. And the hard part with Cal is he's such an efficient player. He's a low risk guy. He's going to make the simple right play consistently. And he just that simple single right play needs to grow one more step. That open shot you take, that's simple. Take it. That wide open pass that you need to make, this secondary read, take it, make it. And that's an area where I think he can really push himself, not only in the offseason, but right now as we finish down the stretch here. He's, to me, the nice part about being a freshman is towards the end of the season, you're not a freshman anymore. Like, it's
right.
You've now had the experience, especially with him, who's played in dang near every game that we've had. The ball has been in his hands, and at now he can't wait till next November 2nd to be able to be a sophomore. Like, you're a sophomore now, you've gotten that experience. There's a lot of freshmen around the country who are not sniffing the court,
right?
So you've gotten the experience. Now use it in these games. We obviously have the full regular season games left, and then you go into March, and now let's go have some fun. So he needs to be someone that we're able to lean on in a real way.
It's interesting too, because you mentioned, I mean, I feel like even before the portal and the NIL stuff and all that, it was hard to get on the court as a freshman. And now it's like almost impossible to get on the court as a freshman. And the fact that he's been able to do that, I know a big part of it was the injury to Lane, but still, I mean, in my mind, I feel like the best way to learn how to do something is to do it.
No doubt.
And I feel like that experience for him is just extremely invaluable. And as you mentioned too, he's probably going to feel like a sophomore by the time the Summer League tournament rolls around.
Yes, it's massive for us. It's massive for our program. It's massive for him individually. And he needs to really lean into that in a real way and embrace it. And I'm not saying he hasn't, because, man, he's an unbelievable kid. He's awesome for our locker room. He is exactly what we want our culture to be. And we're excited about how he's going to continue to keep growing.
So you guys take on Omaha on Wednesday, and we'll preview that right now. The Mavs at 14-14 overall, 7-6 in the conference, winners of 2 straight. They just took down Denver yesterday in what was pretty on-brand, high-scoring game for the Denver Pioneers, 83-76. And a guy who is in Player of the Year running right now is Paul Jobet. And you guys saw him earlier this year at the Mabee Center, and is just a physical presence, obviously.
He's
a former P4 guy as well. And I guess here's a question: how do you solve said problem if you can, or limit said problem?
Yeah, I mean, with guys like that, I mean, he scores in so many different ways. He loves the ISO. He's great at catch and shoot threes. Very, very good at catch and shoot threes, and he can get to his spots. He can bully you. He can back you down. So for him, you have to just do everything you possibly can to make it as difficult as possible on him. And he made some very, very difficult shots in our first game. And for us, like, we need to make sure that those are just as difficult in game 2. And then limit some of the other ones that the rest of their guys got. Now, they made a similar run that South Dakota State made on Saturday, and that's an area during those times that we really got to grow in and figure out how do we knuckle down here and get a stop. And they're a team that has really found their groove. Like, once they lost to the Dakotas, he changed up his lineup a little bit. They're playing a little bit smaller, but playing in with a very clear rotation in terms of who he wants to play and who they want to get the ball to. And their role clarity has really come to fruition over these last few weeks, and it led to 2 really good wins over St. Thomas, who obviously is one of the best teams in this league, and then Denver, who was arguably the hottest team in this league, who just swept the North Dakotas on the road. So those are 2 really good wins. So they're playing at a high level right now.
Omaha, for me, has been a hard team to figure out, because I feel like at times, and you mentioned the last 2 games, 2 really, really good wins for them, and scored 98 and 83 against 2 of the best teams right now in this conference. But they've also had 3 of their 4 home losses in conference play. Yeah. One of those to Kansas City, one of those at the buzzer to North Dakota State, who's obviously having a phenomenal year. And just watching film on them as well, and I know you guys go probably into way more in-depth stuff than I do, because I'm just kind of seeing what trends are. But what have you noticed about just some of the inconsistencies that this team has possessed over the season? And of course, they're starting to find consistency now, but again, it's just been kind of a weird team to figure out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say role clarity. They had the great problem of having probably too many guys, and some of their guys have fallen off roster-wise. There's an individual who hit a massive 3 against us who's no longer playing a ton in their rotation, and then there's an individual who started for them who's no longer really in their rotation, hasn't played in the last few games. So he has gone a whole different way just because of the depth he had on his bench, and now they're playing a different style that is scoring a lot more. It may not have the same ceiling defensively, and maybe it doesn't, I don't know, coach as well as maybe others. Maybe they're not playing the exact way that he wanted to play in the past, but they're playing a very good winning brand of basketball right now, or these last 2 in their home stretch. And I think he can clearly see that he's found something, and they found their groove, and that it's on us to go in there to their home building, and we have to find a way to disrupt them. We can't go in just vanilla and hope that they miss shots. We're going to have to do some different things to make them uncomfortable and take them out of their rhythm. And they've gone against 2 very good basketball teams this last week, and honestly really had whatever they wanted offensively in both games. So we need to do something in there that brings us a different type of edge.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of role clarity, and I mean, Simon Valentino is coming off of a double-double, and he's a guy who started 3 games, and he averages 10 minutes.
Correct.
So, that's a prime example. I know at the beginning of the year that Tony Osborne was going to be running the point, and that's not something he's really ever done in his collegiate career, and now he's kind of back to what he was doing, which is being a 2-guard, a catch-and-shoot guy. Lance Waddles takes over. They had Paul Jobet later, so there's been a lot of shuffling of the deck, if you will.
There's no doubt, and they've changed the way they played. Like, Stubblefield, in my opinion, is one of the best point guards in our league. He just gets them into whatever they need to get into. You have 2 elite shooters in Waddles and Osborne, and Waddles was not shooting the percentage. He had been sick for a while. Going into our game, he was like 5th in the country at 3-point field goal percentage, and now he's coming off a game where he's 6 for 6. So those 2 are back, and they really have it fixed. And that when the rim becomes an ocean for 2 of your individuals, man, that's an awesome spot to be in offensively. So they're really in a groove right now, and they're obviously very comfortable, and we need to do a good job going in there as a defense to make them uncomfortable as possible.
I know they got really good size with Christian Richardson, over 7 feet, and he is a young player, and I think we saw that at the Mabee Center, just kind of some of the ways you can expose him. And I feel like when you meet him with physicality, that can really throw him off his game. So how do you go about protecting that painted area against a team in Omaha that, outside of just him too, has some pretty good size down there?
Yeah, no, it's difficult. It's what honestly St. Thomas saw in us. They exploited our really. I mean, there's another way to put it, our toughness in the paint. That's an area that we really got to grow in, and our guys need to individually take that challenge. That they're going to try and punch us in the face. They're going to try and attack us once they get into that painted area, and we'll have different schemes for them. But every single time you bring a double, now that ball is swinging and it's hitting Waddles and Osborne, who, like I just mentioned, they're seeing that they run like an ocean right now. So no matter what you throw at them, there are going to be counter strikes that they have, and that's what a good offensive team does. And their size inside is a problem. Now Richardson has kind of been moved out of the lineup a little bit because of how well that Simon is playing and the level of motor that he plays with. Man, that kid plays hard, and you love watching him play in his style. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what kind of lineup they bring. They seem like they've kind of leaned into the Simon lineup at the 5, and they play him a heavy amount of minutes over the last 2 or 3. So we'll have to be ready for whatever that they bring lineup wise and have different adjustments.
Yes, we'll take on Omaha at 7 o'clock for the second final time of the regular season on the road. You can catch the pregame at 6:40 right here on the ORU Sports Network. Ahead of that one should be a good one from Baxter Arena. Now, it feels like baseball weather outside.
It does.
I know you're a big baseball guy.
Love it.
ORU started their baseball season
we did
this weekend and got a pretty big series win against Southern Illinois.
Huge. Found a way to rebound for the first one, got 2 of them.
Exactly. I don't know how much you were able to watch, if any, because I know you
little bit, yeah,
your own stuff going on. But the bullpen only gives up 2 runs all weekend, and the starting pitching was great. And they turned 4 double plays yesterday. I mean, as a baseball purist, that's some pretty dang good
defense,
pretty dang good stuff,
especially
right there.
in the infield. Love some great defense. Hopefully the Cubbies have that this year.
Hopefully, I hope so. Alex Bregman would be a nice little
keep Nico. You got Bregman. Yeah, I think we're in a decent spot in the infield.
I think we're in a decent spot. Also, I saw on Twitter earlier today, and take it with a grain of salt, it's Twitter. But I saw Cade Horton is touching 98 after coming off that injury. So
gosh, we need
that'll
that.
get us Cubs fans.
I've given Coach Jackson a pretty hard time for a guy who is all season long. I heard this from Norman. Your best pitcher's from Norman. It's classic Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Then we get to the playoffs and he throws out his back sneezing.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was not great.
I think it was the same day they clinched the playoffs.
It was
sneezing. Have you ever thrown out your back sneezing?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. I won't make fun of you for that.
Thank you.
But what are some other MLB allegiances on the staff? I don't really know if anybody's really into baseball like you.
No, I'm the heavy baseball guy. Iceman Isaac is pretty hardcore Yankees.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Corey could absolutely care less. Donovan would claim the Braves when they're good. I haven't got a feel for him because they weren't good last year, so we'll see how heavy he is. Van, I don't know that he's got really any kind of allegiances. Coach Saxon, if he did, he wouldn't, or Coach Upshaw, if he did, he wouldn't tell me. So he kind of keeps everything close to the chest.
Yeah, it's probably a smart move, especially around you.
Yeah.
You go spilling all the secrets.
I'll push some buttons, especially when your team's.
So what I'm hearing is you can turn a lot of them into Cubs fans if you want.
They're gonna get heavy. Yeah, I'm propaganda on 1,000. We got Cubs all over my office. It's gonna be on in the off season.
So who was it that was that Tim who put the when the Cubs and Brewers were playing the playoffs?
He's a Brewers guy allegedly.
I don't believe that. I don't think he is. I think he was a Brewers guy for the sake of the Cubs playing them.
Yeah, I think he was a Brewers fan when they had Prince Fielder. I was a child, so I don't know. I don't remember any of that.
Me neither.
Correct.
Well, Prince Fielder. That guy was large.
Yeah,
he could.
I'm not
tanks.
part of it.
But I'm excited to talk. We're talking with Coach Fulmer on Wednesday, and I mean he's talked about defense and pitching and. I tried to get him to talk more about offense yesterday because they scored 6 runs, and he just kept talking about defense. Oh, rightfully so. I mean,
rightfully so.
They turned 4 double plays, and
I will tell you, Coach has won a lot of baseball games.
He has won a lot of baseball
whatever
games.
he wants to talk about and focus on, let's let him talk.
You
are
1,000% correct, and I'm just the radio guy. I'm just trying to ask him questions.
You're trying to bring the viewers in with the offense.
I really am.
He knows what wins.
I know we talked. Shortly after you got hired during a baseball game, we had you on for an inning, and I'm going to throw the question that you asked me right back at you. But if you were a baseball player, what is that walk-up song for one Cory Barnett?
That's a good one. I don't know what that would be. Probably John Mellencamp.
Okay.
Some kind. Probably Small Town, one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it vary for you if you're a pitcher or a hitter, or would you stick with the same?
Would. Yeah, 100%.
So is that if you're a hitter, if you're a batter?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'd have to really think about that. I'd have to spend some time. Like that would be I'd have to get ChatGPT out, ask it, give it my full background, see what it came up with.
Okay.
Give it my
So
Apple
you want
Music history.
something that ties into your roots a little bit.
No doubt, yeah. And
Okay.
if I'm a batter, I probably want to bring some juice.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I want the crowd to feel it too. That's important.
So if you're a position on the field, then what are you playing? Did you play baseball growing up? I don't even know.
Not a ton.
Not really?
A little bit. But I just moved. We moved so much. Every time I
That's
moved,
fair.
when Little League, it's like you grew up there and you play with all your bullet buddies.
Yeah.
And so I broke my dad's heart and decided to go with the wildly enough karate route when I was young.
Really?
Yeah.
How high did you get? What belt? Were you a black belt? You definitely were a belt.
I won't share that with you.
You were definitely a
But
black belt. That does not surprise
Could surprise you at some point.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if you revealed that to me.
Just keep your hands to yourself.
On the team playing on Tuesday, I will just television right to my seat. So, Coach, as always, thanks so much for the time. Looking forward to talking with you on Wednesday after the game against Omaha, second meeting of the year. Once again, tip-off at 7 o'clock from Baxter Arena. You can catch it at 6:40, the pregame, right here on the ORU Sports Network. Big thanks to both coaches. Big thanks to Waldo's here at 71st and Yale. As always, we'll have the first episode of the ORU Baseball Coaches Show at noon on Wednesday. We will do it remotely because we will be on the road, but excited to talk with Coach Ryan Fulmer there as well. That'll be an every Wednesday thing as well. So big thanks to all of you for making us a part of your Monday afternoon. We'll talk to you next week. This has been the ORU Basketball Coaches Show on the ORU Sports Network.